Hey, what's up, guys? This is Hans from the Eclectic podcast, and today we're going to take a look at the Transformers Autobot Intel Ops Platinum Edition. Real quick, we will take a look at the packaging. Really nice artwork on the front here, first off. Done really, really well. Nice stylized art. We have Preceptor, Blaster, SteelJaw, RamHorn, and then Eject. On the side of the box, we do have the Transformers font, along with the Generations logo up at the top. On the top of the box, we do have just the Transformers logo inside of that flaming ball or Pokeball, I don't know what you want to call it. Same thing on the side of the box. Opposite side here, we do have the Autobot logo up at the top. And then flipping it around, we can take a look at the back of the package. And here it shows us Blaster changes in 11 steps. Preceptor changes in 6. It tells us nothing for the cassettes, but it does come with a nice little set of cassettes, which is really, really kind of cool. Real quick, we will go ahead and zoom in on the bio that's on the back here, and you guys can take a second to read that if you'd like. Autobot, Decepticon, Preceptor, Autobot. Yeah, whatever. Down at the bottom of the box, of course, legal mumbo jumbo, which we've all seen before, don't care to see it again. And then it also kind of gives you a list of what all is included in the box. On the front here, this is a cling. It's held down by Velcro. You can lift that up and take a look at the contents inside. Nice thing about this is that it actually does have clamshell design, which was really cool. Up at the top, it does have some encoded messaging up there at the very top, and then it gives you a bio for Blaster and Preceptor. And I'm not sure what the encoded messages say. It probably has something to do with the bios that are down here, probably in multiple languages. I haven't really looked through to actually check and verify that that's what it is. You do have some nice artwork in the back. Again, like I said, the coded text at the top. But let's go ahead, let's open this guy up and take a look at the contents that do come within this box. First thing we're going to look at here is actually the instructions. On the front here, it does show Preceptor and his transformation modes. On the back, of course, we do have Blaster up at the top, along with RamHorn, SteelJaw, and Eject. So it is all just one sheet. There's not multiple sheets of instructions for this guy. And here we have Blaster, and he's tall. He's really tall for a G1 figure. And Preceptor. We also come with this. It comes with this little case for Preceptor slides, which was kind of a nice touch. We do have SteelJaw here. We also get a missile launcher for Preceptor. It just plugs in. Doesn't fire or anything. I was kind of disappointed with that. I was hoping it would launch, but no, it doesn't. We also get Preceptor's Blaster, which he does hold nicely. Plug that into his hand here. And we'll go ahead and we'll plug in his missile launcher too, just that way you know it does plug in. Fans Toys actually did a really nice job of kind of replicating Preceptor, I think, with their Tesla set. I may have to get my hands on that. I haven't decided yet. We've also got Blaster's sniper rifle, which also plugs fairly nicely in the hand. It doesn't go in as deep as I would like, but he does hold it relatively secure. Stand SteelJaw back up because he's kind of thin. Oh, here we have Eject with his Popeye arms, bulbous arms sticking out. We've also got RamHorn. Like I said, I mean, the cassettes were a nice little touch that they actually included those. I thought that was really awesome. He also does come with his cassette holders. Along with, we also have, here we have RamHorn's missile launchers. A lot of accessories with this set. I was really impressed with all the amount of stuff that it came with. Here we have Eject's blasters. Pistols, I don't know, whatever you want to call them. And then SteelJaw's little wing laser things. I don't know what you call those, but that it does come with those as well. First off, let's go ahead. We'll take a look at the cassettes. Here they are, all kind of weaponed up with their chromy goodness all over them. Not a whole lot in the way of articulation with any of these guys, but I think they've done a really fine job of replicating them, and I think they may actually be using the original molds. First off here, we'll look at Eject. The face sculpt, it's pretty nice. I mean, there's not a whole lot of detail there. They did some nice applications with the paint. Really, really nice Autobot logo right there on his chest. In the way of articulation, not a whole lot. I mean, the legs kind of do move around. Arms do move up. And he does have his rub sign there. And it actually, I mean, they do work. I mean, they should. I mean, this is a Hasbro release. This isn't a KO. But the rub sign's kind of nice. RamHorn, this guy actually had him as a kid. And I always thought he was pretty awesome. But yeah, here he is redone again. And I mean, it's exactly as I remembered. Of course, he does have his rub sign. Which, I think it works. Yeah, it better work. Yeah, it's working. There we go. It's working. These feet, they do have die cast, but there's, not a whole lot of articulation with these things. And then we have SteelJaw. Again, I was kind of worried. As a kid, I got these guys to stand pretty easily. But being an adult, I figured my hands would fludge them up. But I actually did get them to stand fairly well. Let's go ahead. What we'll do is we'll take these guys through transformation real quick. So we'll go ahead and we'll start off with SteelJaw here. First thing you want to do is take off his weapons. Pull off those chromed out lasers. Collapse the head into the body. Fold up the front feet. And you just, whenever you're transforming these guys, you just want to make sure everything stays square. We'll fold up the rear legs. You want to just kind of fold the legs back. And then kind of push them forward. And by no means, I mean, like when you see the Masterpiece cassettes, they've done such a better job with the engineering on these guys. It was amazing seeing some of the Masterpiece cassettes that came with Soundwave. And like I said, just make sure everything's square, because he's supposed to be a cassette. So, I mean, just make sure everything's kind of lined up. And it is kind of fiddly. And he's a mess. Really is kind of a mess of a cassette. His cassette mode's not the best. Go ahead and pop him in his case. Close that up. There we go. Let's move on to RamHorn here. Go ahead and take off his missile launchers off the side. Just unplug those. Flip the tail back. Fold up the front legs. Flip the head back. Fold in the toes. And then just kind of flip everything up. Just kind of keep it nicely folded. Again, just make sure everything stays nice and square. Grab his case here, pop that open, clip him in, close it up. There we go. There's numero dos. And as for Eject, okay, this one, I think I've got some issues here. You're supposed to be able to pull that out and push in his head. Does not work on mine. I don't know what's going on with that, but if you're supposed to unclip those arms, and then his head is supposed to push down inside, and then you're supposed to clip the arms back to retain everything. And then fold up the arms, fold in the hands. And I'm trying to get that head to collapse. It just won't do it. Fold back the feet. Splay them out. And then just condense everything down. Unfortunately, due to that head issue, and I'm just afraid mine's broken, he will not collapse. I tried and I tried. I tried even just to go ahead and pop him in the case. Won't work. That head, I don't know what's going on with that. So mine has that issue with the head. If some of you other guys have picked this up, let me know if you have the same issue, because it's kind of unfortunate. I mean, it's not a deal breaker for me. I don't think this ruins the set by any means, but that kind of does suck. Moving on, let's go ahead and we'll take a look at Blaster here. He is a big guy. I didn't realize some of these G1 figures, they had no scale. That's all there is to it. Look at the head sculpt here. They did a nice job of applying that yellow to his eyes. It's kind of a simple face sculpt, not a whole lot going on there, but they did do a good job. It does swivel, it does tilt back, but that's mainly due to transformation. And it's really thin. I mean, obviously, because it's a flat head on the back, so there's not a lot of depth to that face, or to that head, I should say. Arms do move 360 degrees around. You get no elbow. You do have a wrist swivel due to transformation. Legs cannot move forward or back. They do kick out quite nicely. But yeah, you get no other articulation in there other than kicking out. What? So, yeah. G1 figures are always kind of like bricks. The only articulation you ever did have was due to transformation, usually. There was nothing else extra. Let's go ahead and let's go through his transformation real quick. Unpeg the gun, collapse the arm, rotate the fist, fold that back up inside, and then you want to turn that and then align it back up with the chest. Same thing with the other side, collapse the arm, rotate the fist, push it back up inside, slide that back, rotate the head until it's flat, take the legs, do the one kick that it can do, collapse the toe, pull out the handle, pull out the leg, and then kind of turn it back up on itself, and then make sure it all kind of collapses back in. Same thing with the opposite side. Pull that leg out, pull out the rest of the handle from the other half, collapse the toe, rotate that right there on the thigh, and then just slide these two together and slide it back over. Make sure it's all tight and square, and there you go. You got Blaster all transformed. Actually pretty cool looking. He does have his rub sign there. Eject button does work. Let's go ahead and let's toss in the cassette here. Grab RamHorn, take him out of his case. Slide it on in there. Collapse that back up. And there we go. Eject button does work fine. The tape does not stick, as you can see. Go ahead and put him back in his case. I'll get him off to the side. There's some really cool kind of flake that's going on with the kind of the brownish tan and grayish plastic here on the legs. So that's kind of awesome. All the stickers were already pre-applied on this platinum set, which was kind of a nice touch. I didn't have to do anything on my own with those. On the back, not a whole lot going on. It does have the port for like a headphone jack right there. And then it says, you know, your copyright Hasbro 2014. But the funny thing too is that it says Hasbro 1984 on there also. So that's just kind of an indication they are still using the original molds with these figures, or at least as close to the original as they can get. Preceptor is next on the list here. He's actually pretty cool. I like his chrome. He does have some arm movement. He does come with both guns, obviously. The head sculpt, pretty basic with this guy. Kind of looks like he's wearing a turtleneck with the way that thing works. He does have 360 ball joint, or 360 articulation on the arms. And he does have an elbow bend, which is more than what we could say for Blaster. Legs, they don't move front and back, but you do get, obviously, the kick out again, and he does have a knee bend. Again, all this stuff that they do have usually for articulation with these guys, it's due to transformation. There's nothing else to it. Let's go ahead and let's get him transformed. Claps the head down, and there's actually is a wheel for that, and you can move the head obviously to either side. But that cannon just mounts on that armature, and you can move to either side however you want to have it. Some really nice chrome right there up on the chest piece with the Autobot logo there. For transformation, really simple. We'll go ahead and we'll take off his weapons. Boop, boop. Get them both out of there. Collapse in the fist. Do the same thing with the opposite side. On the back here, use the wheel and retract the head. Kick out the legs. Give it a twist at the upper thigh. Twist it back here at the lower knee, and then collapse that front down on the toe. And we're going to do the same thing opposite side. Twist. Twist again, and then toe. Actually, and before I flip that down, go ahead and flip down this piece. And I may be doing this wrong, but then flip down that piece for his specimen tray for the microscope part. Move that armature on up, and you can disable that. It's got a little notch that'll peg that into place on that armature, but that way you can get it at an angle. Then just move the arm straight up, and then you collapse him back upon the chest, and that gives it a little bit more stability to keep that up. And that's pretty much it. That's him in his microscope mode. Ta-da! He does have slides, and you can see through the microscope to actually see the slides, but the problem is you can't get the depth that you need between the specimen tray and the lens itself to really kind of make it work. But I mean, it is a feature that it does have. He does have a third mode, which we'll go ahead and show you right now. You want to take these armature pieces off, retract this all the way back, and this is what they're calling the cannon mode. Up here on the front of the feet, you want to go ahead and kick out this little green piece here, which has the wheels on it, because if you didn't notice, he does have tank treads. And then you want to rotate the legs all the way around to where it's kicking out the back, and then rotate the foot to where the treads are facing back down again. And then you want to tilt the upper body to where it does give it more of an angle. And then you just want to lay that microscope piece right on back. And there he is in his cannon mode, as it were. It works. I mean, it's something that you need a really small transformer to sit in that little chair that he's got. You can kind of swing that around, but not a whole lot here. Just kind of a afterthought kind of mode. I mean, I guess it's kind of cool. It is something that it can do. So he is a triple changer: cannon, microscope, and robot. Yeah. Real quick, let's go ahead and let's take a look at his slides one by one. Here we have Optimus Prime. I don't know what that is. I can't tell. Neurons, maybe? Assembly line. That's an assembly line, I can tell. Don't know. Not for the life of me. No idea. It does come with this case. I mentioned the case earlier, but you can slide all the slides within it, and it was kind of a nice touch that they actually added this with this version of the character. I don't think this was originally included back in the 80s, but you can put them all inside and then collapse it together. And then on the back of Preceptor, you can actually take these 3 little notches here, and it's got another port, and it only goes on one side, but you got those 3 notches there that correspond on the back, and then the port on his butt. So you just want to take those 3, plug it in, and plug it into his butt. The butt one's the one that actually holds all the friction for this thing, but you can plug that on the back, and I thought that was a really nice touch. Really cool. Alright, here it is, the complete set, and I will say, I think for the money, this is an awesome set because you get a lot with it. 3 cassettes, 2 robots, the slides, all that kind of stuff. A really cool nostalgia trip, and for anybody that's kind of my generation that really loved the Transformers when we were kids, I think this is a great way to catch up on a lot of those things. Thanks guys for listening and watching, and we will see you soon. Bye. What makes this podcast unique?
Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Dylan, 130 the Eclectic Podcast. Just coming at you right now. Let you know we'll be on into YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, come on back now. Be the 3rd subscriber. You get absolutely nothing. Thank you so much. And please listen to the Eclectic Podcast because we are amazeballs.
Yeah, we're probably not quoting Mel Gibson ever again.
If you want to listen to lizard people or hear all about lizard people, lizard people, let them go, lizard people.